Sweet. Alright guys, caffeine, thumbnail pick. Alright, so what's up, yeah? Another what the fuck happened Wednesday. Okay, so what the fuck happened? So you saw like the previous tech news. Basically what happened was like towards the end of like a pause video, like his camera died and like it corrupted the file, so I had no choice but to finish the video like this area here that's in yellow with stills.
The flip side to demand dropping is that prices often drop too though, and the relatively smaller group of consumers who are planning to purchase hardware in the near future should at least be able to get a good deal.
So basically, I mean, I already made a video about this situation, but Pa, he uses a Panasonic camera, right? And for the most part, from my understanding, those cameras, when they're filming video in real time at the moment, you know, when it's actually recording, it's creating an MDT file. So basically it's almost like a text-based format that it's creating a bunch of metadata, you know, that the camera is, you know, receiving at the moment through the lens and all that stuff, right? Now the moment when you turn off the camera does like a process in the background that it kind of converts all that information that it received as an MDT format, and then it converts it to a .mov, right, into a video format. So what happened is Pa's camera, like the power, it got disconnected somehow, and then like it didn't shut off properly, so it didn't went through that process of converting that information, the MDT file information, and it didn't finish converting to an MOV, right? Now again, I'll link a tutorial in the descriptions or in the comments of how to fix a corrupted MDT file if you're in that situation. But the thing is that like since that format is already corrupted, when you convert it back to a .mov, you're gonna lose some footage, and that's what happened with Paul. The last like 5 minutes or so of, you know, him ending the video, a lot of the footage got lost. You know, thankfully it was just like the last bit. And kind of like a side note, I read some comments from some people be like, oh, this is kind of, they were saying like, they thought it was kind of lazy that we didn't like redo the end or something like that. Two things about that. One, Paul is filming by himself, so it's not like he was able to see when the camera stopped recording, so he doesn't know how much far back he has to go to. Another thing is, because the format is corrupted, it's not like he can play it back instantly. He has to go through a process to recover the damaged footage. And another thing is that him being a father and all that stuff, you know, he's very limited at time, so he has to do what he can and then go pick up his daughter and take care of her, you know, in the afternoon and stuff like that. So there's a lot more than just redoing a scene, you know. Now for the most part, people that saw this ending actually liked it and they thought it was funny as fuck, right? And I don't know, some people thought it was an April Fool's joke or some shit like that. I'm like, alright, fuck it, I'll just go with it. That's something you learn to do when you start to edit, is that you kind of go with shit. You don't have to like argue with it. You know, you think it's an April Fool's joke, go for it. But anyways, what I'm gonna show you is basically what I did and how I did it. So if you're in that situation for some reason, or if you like the style of flipbook animation and you want to do it yourself, it's not that complicated really. So for starters, I'm just gonna get pause footage, right? I'm gonna just drop the whole footage in the end, right? And like, I don't know, let's just zoom in here. I can just trim to the areas where he starts talking and he's making his intro faces, yada yada. You know, we cut all this shit out. Alright, so he starts talking around here, right? So let's just trim that. And let's go towards the end. It doesn't matter. Okay, so here's the thing. It's very simple, right? So I'm just gonna color change this so we can tell the difference from the other footage. Let's do forest. Okay, it's good enough, right? So simply put, all you have to do is right click, you go to frame hold options, and I'm gonna show you how to do this in DaVinci also. So you go to frame hold options and you say, oh, hold on, you get this pull down menu at endpoint, which is gonna be this area right here, right? So endpoint, hit OK. So now if I scroll over the footage, it's holding this frame at the endpoint, right? So basically all I did was like, say as Paul was talking, if he made like a change of sentence or a gesture or something, I needed something new. All I did was I made a cut, and because like we have it selected as frame, hold frame at endpoint, when you make a cut, it makes a new endpoint, right? Same thing, you know, so this is the endpoint for this clip, this is the endpoint for the next clip. So then like now, if you want to change the position, just move the playhead up, you make another cut, and it changes the endpoint, right? So yeah, that's pretty much all I did. Endpoint for this clip, endpoint for that clip, and endpoint for that clip. So every time Paul was talking and like, I don't know, I just needed him to change positions, I should make a cut, and there you go, right? Very simple. And if like for whatever reason, like say I didn't like this clip, then like it just simply either move up a bit, make another cut, or I could just get the slip tool. I can click and drag it and I can move the endpoint position to something I like, say like that, and there you go. Using the slip tool, right? So that's mainly all I did. So yeah, that's basically all I did in this section over here. Depending on what Paul was saying, the freeze frames were in yellow. Yeah.
That's great news for DDR5 in particular, which has normalized in price a lot but still has a ways to go. And that
So yeah, usually that's something you kind of learn when you start editing. Certain words like but, and, however, also, you know, words where like there's like almost like a spike in volume. So I made a cut in those areas just to make it, you know, more fluid. You know, those a bunch of stills, right? So something you kind of keep in mind, or something you learn to do when you edit a lot.
Should make the more recently launched platforms from AMD and Intel more accessible for PC builders. Also good news for PC.
See how I did that? Also, see, like, and it kind of helps, right? When like he changes his tone of voice, you know, made that cut there. Now going over to DaVinci, right? Unfortunately, it doesn't work the same. It's one of those things at the moment that I know of, you know, because I'm still learning DaVinci, it doesn't work the same as it does in Premiere Pro, like I just showed you, where you just select, hold frame at endpoint, and then like as you make cuts, it basically creates a new endpoint, so the frame itself updates to that frame, right? It is a lot easier. Yeah, with DaVinci, it doesn't do that. So now if I make my cut here, right click, then go to change clip speed, I go to freeze frame, change, it's gonna hold it, but if I move up and I make another cut, it still stays in that frame, right? It doesn't update. You know, it doesn't like change the endpoint like it did in Premiere Pro, so it is a bit different, right? What I suggest is this. When you go up here in the tab, you click on it, and basically there's a few view options, right? You got thumbnail view, you got simple view, which, you know, shows nothing. Then you got thumbnail view, which just shows the in and the out points, thumbnails, but you want to get the one here. Well, it's a film strip view, right? So let's just say you have this. So when you zoom in here, you got a different like, you know, you kind of have an idea what's there around this area. So I don't know, say there's something specific that you want, like right here, you make a cut, right? Then like you move up here, I don't know, you say you want him with his hands moving to the side here or whatever, you can move over here and find it and make a cut. With the films review, we have a general idea of what's what, so now we can just, you know, right click in each clip, go to change clip speed, freeze frame, it holds it there. It moves up to this position where you have the hands popping out, right click, change clip speed, freeze frame. Change. It holds it there. And we move up to this section where he has his hands popping out. Right click, change clip speed, and freeze frame. It's one of those things that is different doing things in DaVinci, you know, than in Premiere. And in this case, you know, in Premiere it's a little simpler, right? But it's not that big of a deal. There are workarounds, right? So, you know, just showing you what you have to do in both softwares. But anyways, that's all I got. Thanks for hanging out with me for a bit. I hope it helps. QR codes, if you want to help buy me a coffee, I appreciate it. If you got any questions, leave a comment. I'll get back to you when I can. And like, yeah, give me a like and all the good stuff. And I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for hanging out with me for a bit. Take care and peace.